Yes. Counter Attack Podcast. I'm back. And guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing. Last week, Adam Armstrong, great feedback from that one. Great podcast as well. Top guy. So this week, we've got a bit of a different one for you because we've got Dexter Blackstock, former professional footballer. He used to play for Nottingham Forest, QPR, Southampton, and he's actually like a big deal. He won't say it himself, but he's a big deal in regards to what he's achieved outside of football and what he started off doing while he was a footballer. So now we're just going to get into it, and we're going to talk about his life as a footballer, but more importantly, his life outside. And it's just going to be a proper informative, educational one. And my cup of tea, proper real conversation. So I'm going to get him in here now, and hopefully he's all good, ready to go. Let me just get him in now. And guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing, all of that. If you're watching this on YouTube, then 100% just press the subscribe button. But yes, what's good?
What's going on?
Nothing, man. I'm just here, happy for those watching this or listening to this. Obviously, I've been trying to get you on for a while, but you're not an easy man to hold down for these things because you don't really do these things. So, thanks for that.
No problem.
Why is it that you don't do many like interviews and stuff?
I don't know. There was a lot of requests over the lockdown and stuff to do interviews, but I just felt it was a bit rushed and a bit, I don't know, it just didn't feel right to go on anyone's platform really. So
yeah,
now I thought, let me just come on and show the love.
Yeah, no, I love that, man. And you're looking real trim.
You know what? Lockdown got me in bad shape. Jeez, like I got in bad shape, but I built a gym in my garden, so now I could do a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Get back in shape.
Yeah, because I think I remember you. Did you put something on your Instagram that you were going to get back in shape or something like that?
Yeah. I was just messing around, going on like I was going to come back and play, but I was never going to come back.
Does that ever come into your head? Well, obviously you've been out of the game for what, 3 years now? Is it 3 years?
Years. I retired. Over 3 years ago now. I retired. I never had that thought, to be honest. Because I actually retired. I still had 2 years left on my current contract at Rotherham.
Yeah.
And I just decided to quit because I just wasn't enjoying it. So I've never looked back and thought there was a mistake or nothing, because I made the decision to come out of the game.
Yeah, that's something you don't really hear of a lot of the time. A lot of players come out of the game because they're forced to. Do you get what I'm saying? But like you said, you were in the middle of a contract, playing Championship. Rotherham were in Championship, right?
Championship. I've only played Championship on Premier League. I've never played lower.
Yeah.
So the season Rotherham got relegated. We had 2 years left. I had 2 years left and they went into League One, but I just wasn't enjoying it, and I didn't want to go into League One with them. It was just getting to me, so I just quit at 31.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. At 31, still quite young. You weren't forced out because of injury, and you weren't forced out because you couldn't find a club. So was a lot of that down to, obviously you said you just weren't enjoying it. Was a lot of that down to the fact that outside of football at that point, you had other interests?
Yeah, for sure. I think that definitely helped, that I had other interests outside. I've been doing a lot of business basically throughout my whole career. But yeah, it was a much easier transition into things because I had other things to keep me busy. Without that, I think it would have been a lot more difficult transition.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because when people Google you or look you up, one thing that comes up a lot is the fact that you've made money outside of football. How you make that money, property comes to mind. And excuse me, God, I might not know it, but is it MediConnect?
Yeah, company called
MediConnect. You're CEO of MediConnect. And for those that don't know, what is MediConnect? What does it do?
It's a blockchain. It's a pharmaceutical company using blockchain technology. It's a very complex project, but we're adding transparency throughout the supply chain, all the way from manufacturer down to kind of end user. So it's quite a complex company, and that came about because I was involved in another company called UK Meds, which is an online pharmacy, and that's been very successful. We now sponsor my old team, Nottingham Forest, with actually the kit sponsor on the back. So yeah,
Wow.
that's another thing that we've done since finishing football, been involved in that, and yeah, and property and other stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, everything I've done has not been successful like anybody else, but I've always had interest in other things, and some have done well, and I'm thankful for that.
Okay, before we kind of get into like your background, what you mentioned blockchain, and I wanted to ask this question, but what exactly is blockchain? Because a lot of people might hear about stuff like that, but
Yeah.
you don't really understand it, if that makes sense.
Well, blockchain is it's a decentralized system. Without getting obviously too technical, I don't know what the audience is like, but
No. My audience is they're on the ball.
it's to add kind of, it's to remove a third party from a transaction. So in life, we use a lot of third parties, right? So if you want to buy a house, you go to a solicitor, which checks the land registry, checks the if there's floods in the area, the titles, and all this kind of stuff. And they're in between. And if you go to and you trust what they say, because if they say it's all signed off, it's right. Same like if you go to a letting agent or whatever, we have so much middleman. But what the blockchain does, it allows to be able to remove that, where you can have peer-to-peer transactions and use that system in a decentralized way. So it's like being able to make a transaction without having to trust the other side, because you can get more participants within the supply chain to authenticate the product. So it's like say you was buying a product, to make it more simple, buying a property, and there was searches carried out on a different house on the street last week, and everyone on the street confirmed that what that did happen. So therefore you can trust that the 20 people on the street they're not lying to say, so I can take that as gospel. But it's not just asking the person that's selling it, who might just tell you no, it's fine, for his own personal benefits. So it's allowing a system that everyone can trust, but not one person owns it or can alter it or change it. So where we're tracking drugs from manufacture, which is obviously vital, you'll be able to scan like a box of pills and know that product was made from this factory at this time by this person that was working, and these are the ingredients. And you can know when it landed in the country, where the whole kind of lifespan of that particular drug. So therefore, it allows you to be comfortable in your own self, knowing what you're taking is the right product. So that's what blockchain kind of does in a decentralized way. So the manufacturers don't own the system and could just alter it to how they want it to alter it. It's a decentralized way.
Surely though, that, because obviously the way things have normally been done, like you said, the manufacturers can manipulate situations to whatever. So you coming in with this new way of providing with technology and whatnot, that must ruffle their feathers.
Yeah, it depends on what side of the fence they are. Because if you're a manufacturer that is doing everything right, is providing all certification, is doing everything above board, you're happy to, if you can be involved in a system that can prove what you're doing is correct, right? Because that's only going to add to you. Also, you can showcase to potential clients that this is the real deal. If you're a manufacturer in China, where if you're in England and you don't know much about China, you can get ripped off or something can happen to you. But if you can differentiate yourself and as the real deal, obviously they want to be on board, because they're like, no, that's great. We can get more business that way. But if you're not, if you're not the real deal and you're trying some sort of skullduggery, then obviously you don't want to come onto the system because it will expose you. But like I've been over to Africa and met the president of Uganda, and the king of Eswatini, Swaziland, about building systems for them to stop the counterfeit medication entering into their system as much. So we're also speaking with nations to try and solve, well, not solve, but reduce the amount of counterfeit medication.
Yeah. So listening to all of this, it sounds really, high level for someone like me or someone who doesn't really know much. But you, who was a player at, Southampton and QPR and Nottingham Forest, like, did you always have that in you, like to know more, or was it something you developed, as you got older and, you wanted to know more? Were these always interests of yours?
No, there was always interest of mine. Always, I brought first property when I was 18. Property was one of my things. I've always tried little businesses. I've owned letting agents. I've owned just loads of things. And like I said, some of them have just been bad moves, but I've learned from them. And a few I've got right. That's the long and short of it. The main thing for me is these things I've done myself. So if it's failed, it's failed on me, and if they've done well, it's done well on me. I think that's key. I think a lot of players they just want to concentrate on football, which is obviously most important, but they got people just constantly saying, "Oh, give us this money, I can do that. Give me that, I can do that." And 99% of the times it don't work for whatever reason. You don't know the person's intentions. You don't know. You just don't know. And a lot of times sometimes they work, but a lot of times they don't work. And what happens is the player, he actually just didn't gain anything. Like, he lost his money, which is one thing, but he never gained any knowledge or anything, any experience. Just a loss all around. And it's a big problem with players.
Yeah, because my thing, and it's a thing that you hear all the time, is that, players, even while they're still playing, they end up bankrupt, even while they're still playing in crazy amounts of debts and everything. And I think a lot of the time it's because there's no real education for them. So like you said, they don't really learn anything. They lose their money, but why did I lose my money? What happened, and what can I do better next time? Do you get what I'm saying? So I think it's really important for players to actually know that, yes, I can actually invest my money in this, but how do I make it successful rather than just giving my money over to someone? And why do you feel like there's not enough help within football? Or do you feel like there's enough help within football to help players understand business and understand real money management?
No, there's nowhere near. No one cares. No one cares in football. Zero. Like, no one. It's just one of the most ruthless industries you can possibly be involved in. Like, simple as that. If a club wants you and you're doing well, it's great. As soon as the time's up, they don't care if you're dead or alive. This is simple as that.
And the thing is, some people might look at you and you're not even saying this from a resentful aspect, because you were success. You were success, and you walked away. They didn't get rid of you.
Yeah, this is just facts. This is just straight facts. It's ruthless, and that transition from a professional footballer to not being a professional footballer, I think, is one of the biggest and hardest transitions you can possibly make. I don't think there is many harder transitions than that in life. And it's easy for somebody could say, I don't know, they earn X amount of money, blah, 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 and they should have done this, should have done that. But that transition is almost impossible. That's why you're seeing so much these mental health issues coming out. This is just what you hear about. So much bankruptcy, so much. It's almost impossible. I'm telling you, it's very difficult. You're thinking about players that got so much money early, most of them come from like not bad background, but not rich backgrounds. So nobody really knows about money around them, much less them. They don't know about money. No problem. They get the money young in life terms, whether it's 18, 20, 24, still young in life terms. Obviously, they enjoy life. They spend quite a lot of it, blah, blah. But they invest in nothing. They have no way of earning. They have no transferable skills. Zero. They can just play football. So they go along in their career, do little things, then they constantly got everyone around them is trying to take this money. So you've got club guys trying to take the money, guys that, I don't know, sort out their car insurance, taking a bit from them, the guys books their fucking every part is taken. They buy the one who advises them what property to buy, the accountant who's topped them up a little bit more, the guy who tell them to put in stocks and shares is doing. It's just a circle of people that's trying to take as much as they can take. And then the player gets to 30 to 35 when things are winding down, and all these people just disappear. And it's just there. You're just on your own. And even if you've done really well, say if you've not done great with your money, you get into the position earlier. But if you've done really well and you've saved loads, because that's all you can really physically do, you've still got a long time to live. So even if you had loads of money in the bank, it's dwindling down. Mm. Then you've got a family. If you misses, if anything goes wrong with that, then you've got that to pay for. It's very, very easy to go wrong coming out of the game.
And it's really, like with football, it's literally an overnight thing. It's literally overnight.
And right now is the worst time. See, with this COVID, this is like real bad now, because the numbers are definitely changed in football for sure, no doubt. And what's happening is, if you're young or you're like a Sancho's and all these guys, Hudson, all these guys, there's still a big market for them, because that's a value. The clubs are buying assets. That's different. But now what the market's done is killed people that are 30 and above, because they're no longer assets. They're just liabilities. So what clubs are saying is, where we would have normally given him X amount on his last contract to maybe drop down to the Championship, he's played in the Prem for his whole life, blah, blah. They're not doing that. They'd rather go for a young kid that's 20. He might not be as good as the guy now, but he could, if he does well, he'll be an asset. So players that are thinking, you know what, I'm only 28, 29, 30, I'm gonna get another move, and I'll worry about that a bit after. Boom. It's not there. So the drop's gonna be more substantial.
And I'm seeing that with, like, just to name a few, obviously they've got things in the pipeline, but people like Tom Huddleston is without a club right now.
What club?
It's crazy. Club. Tom Huddleston without a club. I speak to Adrian Mariappa the other day. Yeah, without a club. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's like, these are players who are blatantly still good players, top players. Do you get what
Mariappa played in the Prem. We must have played.
Yeah, he played in the Prem. Just literally
last year.
Yeah, not last season in the Prem.
Yeah, that's the people it's affecting the most, because they would have easily just went straight to a Championship team, signed a 2-year deal on good money at a Championship club, and carried on his career.
Yeah,
but we're not doing that. So the drop is becoming a lot more kind of instant. It's not. I think it's going to get worse as well. Like, bang, players are thinking, "Oh, I get that. A lot of players are turning down things, thinking, something else will come. Nothing's coming.
Yeah,
the money's going out.
When I was talking to Frank Newblay, had him on the pod, and he was saying that normally when he's negotiating with clubs or looking for a new team, his phone will ring straight away. Like, he knows. He's now 29, I think it is. And he said this was probably one of the hardest ones. Like, it took a while for his deal to Plymouth to materialize, because just nothing was happening. Do you get what I'm saying? So you're seeing it more and more, and if a lot of players aren't prepared for this, because you hear all the time, you never know what might happen in football. It could end tomorrow, but no one really thinks their career is going to end tomorrow.
No one does. But players need to think about what they're doing after the career a lot earlier than they do. That's a big problem. You need to have some sort of income. If you don't have an income, you will 100% choke up. You have to. You can't, unless you're 100 grand a week plus, where you might say, you know what, if I just save my money, not do anything, I can live just a normal, regular lifestyle. Not regular lifestyle, but a good lifestyle, carry on doing what I'm doing, and then I can see myself through. If any of this 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a week stuff, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's just not enough to hold you all the way through.
But then how do you fix that? Because there's this, I feel like there's a pride element amongst a lot of players where they don't want to ask for help. But also, a lot of people they might go to are literally just trying to
100%.
Just get them or use them for what they got, and always add a premium. He's a footballer. Just so there's a premium on top of that. So how do you change that?
Like, I don't know. You've got to trust somebody, I guess, haven't you? But finding that person is very difficult. I've got players that I help with their moves and stuff, and they trust me. They've known me for a long time. They've been with agents that have ripped them off in the past. Like, it's been really bad, and I've been able to do a lot for them on and off the field. Got players that put in money into big construction property stuff that we do. That's going to make players good money. Just a few things. Listen, I'm not a financial advisor, innit? I'm not. But I do know how to make money, and there'll be a lot of players sat there with good capital around them now that need to put the money into safe places that can make money and call upon it when time's right. And they go to the wrong people. They'll do their best to try and get that off them without giving them anything.
Yeah. And one thing I can honestly say about you is we had a conversation, I think, during COVID, we had a conversation, and you gave me literally 20 minutes worth of advice, and it was so easy for you. I don't think you realize how big of a thing that was for me, like the advice you gave me and how much it actually helped. And one thing I liked is that it was free information.
Yeah.
You didn't come to me and be like, okay, so I'm going to need you to do this. I want this. I want that. It was free information. One of them and it was so nonchalant of you. You were just like, look, you just do this. Like, I don't even know, but if you just do this, if you just do that, then you could do this and blah, 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 blah. And I was just thinking that if there were a lot more people like you who didn't kind of charge for the information, I think there'll be a lot of change. But also, I think it's easier when people see that you actually live nice. That's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. Like, a lot of people might know you personally, but they won't come to you. You can tell them all you want, but we live in a time where if you put up a Lamborghini, he's actually doing really well. Do you know what I'm saying? But if you was to put up a Ford Focus, they think you're. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's seeing
is believing, right? Seeing is believing. I think that will never change really in life. If somebody, this is the thing. If you're a player and you're getting, I don't know, 20 grand a week or whatever, you got money, right? And you've got a certain, not ego about you, but you got a certain something about you. You don't really want someone who's turning up who's got nothing to tell you what to do with yours, because you're thinking, well, if it's that, then just why have you not done it for you? Like, even though the guy might be genuine, the guy might just know the information, but he's just on the come up or whatever. But it's a natural thing to think, oh, okay, so you just come to try and take from me. It's a natural thing. No, it doesn't always work, because you can get a guy who comes in a Lambo who's come to rip you off. You know what I mean? Like it does balance out, but it's just one of those kind of things. I think in life in general, you'd rather be taking advice from a made man than you would from a man who's on the come up. I think that's just how life just transpired, especially obviously with the imagery thing at the moment. It's just everything.
Do you ever feel to work within clubs though? Because you've got a lot of knowledge, and obviously me and you are just talking, and I know for a fact you don't see yourself as this property guru or whatnot. You just know what you know and how it's worked for you. Do you get what I'm saying? But do you ever feel to take what you know and go within clubs to educate like the next generation?
I've been into a couple of clubs, but that's mainly because, say, my friend or something is a manager or a coach there, and he just asked me to come in. In terms of working for the clubs, I don't think I'll ever do anything inside of a club for a club. That's just not me. I don't think I'll do any coaching role, or do any sporting director. No, nothing inside. But I have been into a few clubs just to talk to players generally, because the managers asked me to. So I've just come and just give my opinion on things. But no, I don't really want to work inside clubs. If anything, I'll be warring against clubs, because they don't always look out for the best interest of the player. So I'd rather fight for the player outside the club than the actual clubs.
Wow.
Because I've got a player at the moment who the club want to get rid of, and they just want him to go anywhere. Like, it's like they don't care what he does. They're just saying, "No, you take half the money and just go away." I'm like, well, go where? Like, what are you talking about? Like you're the sporting director, or you're whatever at the club. Like, could I just offer you half your contract that you sign? Would you just take half and go and sit at home with no job? Not like, regardless of the money, you would. It's not possible. Like, you can't. Clubs just want it. There's no loyalty. Everyone talks this loyalty in football. There's no loyalty. There's zero.
And that's why another thing where, you know, we're in the middle of like this whole transfer deadline day to day and stuff like that. And so let's use my team for example. I support Arsenal. Let's use Arsenal. Arsenal have a load of players that they can't get rid of right now.
Yeah.
I'm saying they want to get rid of Ozil, regardless. I don't think we should get rid of him. Anyway, that's a conversation for another day. They want to get rid of, you know, Kolasinac and Mustafi and whatever, who are on high wages. And they're just like, just go. But you can't blame, man. Like, Ozil's on 350. No one's going to come close to giving him that sort of money. And you want him to just leave and just go play for another club, getting 80 grand a week.
Where do you want him to go? Where do you want him to go? And the thing is, they want it. It's when there's the shoes on the other foot and a player wants to move. I've seen it many times. Players got to move to a Premier League team. They can double, triple their money, and the club wants 10 mil, but they only want to pay 5 and kill the move. No one talks about that. So when the time's right for them, they do what's best for them. But when they want you out, they want you to take half. Huh? What do you mean? Ozil's still going training. He's still turning up. If they want to play him Saturday, I'm sure he'll play.
Yeah.
He's not refusing to his contract. He's still doing what the contract's to train. And if he's selected to play, then they play him. If he's not selected, what do you want to do? Run on the pitch? He can't do nothing. It's not his fault. You can't say, because the manager don't play me, you want me now to take half of my money that we agreed. Yeah. That doesn't make no sense. Yeah. But obviously the clubs just want to do what's best for them. It's business. That's all it is. And I'm just fully aware of its business. So therefore, I just know how to deal with it from the start.
Do you feel though? Sorry to cut you. Do you feel that, or not even do you feel? Did something happen in your career that made you see this clearly, or was it something that you knew already? So I'm looking at it like, when I look at your career, I see things, you having a successful time at QPR, and then suddenly you're at Nottingham Forest. That's how it looked from the outside. Like, did something happen in between that move? Like,
yeah, something major happened. Major.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because obviously, like, I played before, so I know that things aren't always what they seem. But I also know that if someone's having a successful time and then just like that, you know, they go. And I think if I remember, you left during the season on loan, like late season.
Late season.
Late season.
6 games left. I was top goal scorer. Shall I tell you what happened? Shall I tell you what happened?
Go.
This has never been said before. And this, what I'm about to say, has never actually come out because it was part of. It was in the contracts actually when I left QPR.
If you're gonna get in trouble for saying this, then don't say it.
He said, don't say it. Nah. I say it. It's not the issue. This is one of the main reasons why I'd never trust from this day. I just football clubs just could never trust. So I was at QPR, top goal scorer at the time. QPR fans would be happy doing this as well because they never knew what happened. So I was top goal scorer at the time, by far top goal scorer as well. I think it was like 12 goals by Christmas or whatever. I don't know who was behind me, but it was well out in the lead. And we had Paulo Sousa was the manager at the time, and I had 18 months left, and there was Premier League interest. I think Fulham and Sunderland and all this was going to put in bids and so forth. But I was happy there. And they come and they said, "Oh, we want to offer you a new deal." Blah blah. Do a new deal. So I said, "Okay, no problem." Negotiate the deal with the agent. All the numbers agreed, no problem. Gone to the stadium to do the deal with my agent, my dad, the club, like the club secretary, everything was there. Sign the contract. So you know the football contract. There's loads of contracts and that you sign them all. Did the interview because they had the press guy there or whatever. So anyway, done the contract. Everything was signed. Do you know? I don't know if when you did sign them football contracts, there's like 4 signatures in there. There's like the agent, the club representative, blah blah blah. But at the time, we had Formula One owners. Flavio Briatore was the owner at the time, but he was away Grand Prix, so they said, "Oh, everything's agreed." Like, obviously, he's not here. He needs to sign it off. Blah blah. No problem. Did the interview. Happy to be here. Blah blah. Anyway. Signed it, go home, played more games that month, blah blah. Anyway, gets to the end of the month, and on the contract was obviously different numbers. It was like a signing on fee. It was due for the new contract or whatever. So it wasn't in the wages. When I spoke to the secretary and said, "Oh, missed the sign on for something's happened with the accounts. They've not paid the right numbers on the new contract." Anyway, the account said, "Oh yeah, what new contract do you mean?" I said, "Oh, the one I've signed a few weeks ago, blah blah." She said, "No, we've not got that." So I said, "Oh, okay." So I spoke to the chairman at the time. I said, "Oh, chairman, they've not got the new contract." Chairman said, "Oh, what it was when I went back to the owner, he changed his mind." So I said, "What do you mean?" What? This is like weeks after now. So this is like 2 or 3 weeks after signing this deal. But anyway, in the meantime, my dad said to me, "Why have they not announced this? Why has it not been announced? I don't know why it's not gone into the public. Like, there's been interest. This would just squash it. Blah blah blah." What? I was like, I don't know. Anyway, he's gone now. When I've gone to the owner, he said, "Oh, we don't really need to give him a new contract now." Blah blah blah. So I'm like, "What? I never told me." So you've agreed a deal. I've come there, signed it, done the interview, physically signed, like not like thing, physically signed this contract. But you've not sent it to the FA, or you've not. When the last sign off from the chairman was meant to be, he's decided to change his mind, not tell me, and just roll with it. So I'm like, whoa. Obviously, the manager, I'm fuming these times. Like, no, this relationship can't continue on it. Like, this how is this possible? Like, there's no way on earth I can play for a club where the this is going on. Then it got bad because the manager, Paolo, was like, listen, I've never seen anything like this before in football, and I just don't understand how that's even possible. But right now, your mind's not right, innit? So I'm gonna have to take you out of the team because you're all over the place, isn't it? Like you're just fuming. So now I've gone from.
Could you have played? Could you have played them?
Yeah, I could have played, innit? I could have played, but I felt let down a lot, innit? So I was like, so I've gone from top goal scorer in the team, playing every week, to doing a new deal, to not having a new deal, and now I'm dropped because of this new deal scenario, and I'm on the sideline, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? So then it goes even further. So that's the clubs are crazy. So it goes further now. I'm on the sideline. Nottingham Forest are just about to get relegated, or they're 6 games to go. They're 1 point adrift, and they must have come to QPR and offered them, I think it was like 250 grand for 6 games to go on loan. And the chairman sort of said, "Yeah, I'm going to take it." So he said, "I'm going to take it." So I knew that they wanted to take me permanently, but I didn't want to go. I didn't want them to get relegated because I wouldn't have went. So I thought, if I can go and help them stay up, then I could sign with them in the summer. So the chairman just said, "Yeah, you can go on loan." So I've gone into get my boots and that, and Paolo was there, and said to Paolo, like, all the best and that, blah blah. He said, like, "Where you going?" I said, I'm going on loan, innit? He said, "What do you mean you're going on loan? I don't know nothing about this." No. I was like, I said, "Wow, this is just," I said, "It's all been agreed that I got to go up there today, blah blah blah." And then got my boots and went up there. So I went up there. It's mad stuff. So I went up there. There's 6 games to go. So on one Saturday afternoon, I think it's like my 2nd or 3rd game in, I score a last-minute winner at Forest. At the time, people could still make the playoffs as well, by the way, at this time, yeah? So the fans are really baffled because they're like, we can still make the playoffs. You just let our top goal scorer go out on loan. It just doesn't make no sense. Like, so I've scored a winner at Forest, and I think they've lost at home, or drew at home the same day or whatever. So at the Loft, they're singing my name and singing "You Don't Know What You're Doing." Yeah, like, you're talking obviously about Paolo. So when interviewed after the game, the press have said to him, like, "What happened with me? Like, why did you let him go on loan?" But obviously, he's looking like a fool, innit? So he could only tell the truth. He said, "I don't know. I didn't know anything about that, like, which he didn't. He just told the truth, innit? But then they sacked him for divulging personal information or personal detail, and he got sacked for it. But he didn't know anything. It was some crazy scenarios, and after that, I just thought, you know what, I don't trust anyone in football. It's just not. After physically signing the contract that doesn't go to the FA, I said, nah, like, anything can happen in this football game. So I've had some past experience. I've got other ones as well, but that was really bad. But even up to this day, QPR fans ask me, what happened? Why did you go? What? Couldn't work it out, but I couldn't say nothing for time because it was all under, like, solicitors and stuff.
And this is the thing about all of this stuff, yeah. Like, when you're in the game, there's so many things that you can't actually say. Like, little by little, like, you might see certain things because of social media now. Like, sometimes people come out, but even then, you don't really hear it all. Do you get what I'm saying? No. And the player is always the person who's just basically just told, like, be quiet and just play.
Yeah, just play.
Yeah, just be quiet and play. Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? So I don't blame you, but at that point in your career, how much business had you, like, invested in, or how many outside interests did you have? So you had your properties from early. But
yeah, I was continually buying properties, and I was continually getting involved in some business stuff. Like I just continually doing stuff kind of almost throughout the whole time span of my career. Literally, there was no real it helped me as well, I think. Like it helped me stay level on the pitch. Like I never got too down and stuff, never got too up. I had a couple of big injuries as well.
I was about to say that one at Notts Forest.
Yeah, that was big.
That kept you out for a year.
Yeah, I was lucky to come back. Like if it weren't for the surgeon, I was gone. They said that I'd never play again and all that. But what the stuff off the pitch, it helped me with that sort of stuff, because I had other things to think about and focus on, and I didn't get too down about things, because I not even to do with any financial thing, just to think about something else. Do you know what I mean?
You get
the problem with players is it's not, when I was talking about earlier on about the transition from footballer to non-footballer, it's not so much financial. Like even if you're set up financial, that it's other aspects. It's your day-to-day routine. It's how your relationship is with your missus now that you're around a lot more. It's how your friends, like a lot of the relationships between footballers are kind of where you are at the time. So
very superficial.
Yeah. So when the career's done, you're not hearing from them. So then you have that issue. Then you just have there's loads of different things that can really affect you. It might be like, it doesn't really affect me, but some people go from signing autographs places and being known to nobody knows you, innit? Like you might get the odd thing, but you're just normal again, like, as it were. Like some people, it's not a problem. They like that. Some people, they like being known. Do you know what I mean? So that affects them. Or there's loads of different aspects of that transition that can really affect a man's mental health.
But for you, was it less so because you were able to actually, like you said, you had other things going? So when you did walk away, was it a thing of, nah, this is actually going to be better for my mental health to walk away from football?
Yes, definitely, because I was finding myself in a bad place at the club I was at, and I just didn't like it. So I thought, nah, I just need to free my space and with my time do more things that I want to do. Do you know what I mean? So of course the financial side helped, because I can appreciate some people might want to do that but are not in a position to do that, which is this thing. But listen, you can make anything happen if you put your mind to it. Like making it in any other business is much easier than making it as a professional footballer, that's for sure. Like that is a fact. It's almost impossible to make it as a professional footballer, percentage wise of what you're competing against worldwide. So to make a successful business is much easier, but you've got to open your horizon. And like you said earlier, you've got to do these things, because if you keep going to people and asking them, they will never give you the blueprint. They would never give you advice to get on yourself, because they need you to not be on to benefit for themselves. So the advice is just to do things, and that's basically where I've been able to get to where I am now, is through my mistakes. That's it. Like just from thinking, oh, I just do it myself, or do it myself, fail, but I learned a bit, do it myself, that was all right. Do you know, that's don't get me wrong, you need help, you need people to help, but like be invested in whatever you're doing, like learn it, like take time to know why, not just here's sort it, what's he doing? I don't know, he's sorting it. Like try, it's not that attitude all the time. You need to learn things yourself.
Yeah. No, 100%, man, and I'm just glad that you're just able to even. No, it's not that you're able. I'm just glad that you want to willingly come out and speak and have conversations with people, because I do feel like even people listening to this, like they will listen to this and think, no, you know what, this is true, and this can inspire people to go and actually just be like, you know what, he's done it. He was a footballer.
Yeah.
He didn't have any sort of knowledge or whatever. Even though a lot of people might also come to you and say that as much as they want to, capital is a big thing.
Yes.
Capital is not is not a thing that people can just come by, you know.
No.
And when you're, especially when you've grown up and, you know, you've made silly decisions, so things like your credit might not be good and blah, 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 blah. People might look at you and be like, you know what? I hear what he's saying, but he was also on however many thousands a week and blah, blah, blah. So what do you say to those people, though, who look at it and think it's not that easy, actually?
What, people that are more outside of football? These are
outside of football.
So, of course, capital is a big thing. But as long as you're adding value, you'll get money. It's as simple as that. If you can connect people, or you can do something, or you have the knowledge to do, or if you keep adding value to a situation, you will get paid. There is no ifs or buts. It's don't get me wrong. It's easy to say, if you had money, I could do this, I could do that, which we get. But you can't think like that when you've not got the money, because you've not got it, have you? You need to figure a way to do it without money. There's plenty of people that come from no money and got loads of money now. In fact, I personally must know, I don't know how many I know. I say 50 millionaires or something outside of football, from business guys. He's doing what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. And most of them come from nothing. None of them come from a uni. No one's telling me, they might have went uni, but no one's saying, I did this through my uni course, and now I did that. No one did that. Everyone had to kind of juggle and do a little bit there, work with this guy for a little while, sort this out, add value there, get a little bit of money. Everyone's got to work away. Like, it's not easy. Like, but if you put that time and that effort in and add value, listen, you will get paid.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You got to have the time, the effort, and the dedication. It just take a little bit longer if you've not got the capital to build it up.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's how many people are willing to wait a bit longer, because everyone just wants everything for now.
And people don't want to do the work. Everyone will say, this, and a lot of people that come with these excuses, they just don't want to do the work. It's not easy. That's the facts. That's the facts. It's not easy for me. It's not easy for anyone else who's got money, or anyone else who's doing business. Don't think this is you get to a point and you can just smoke cigars in the evening and just chill off. It's not easy. Like, that's the facts. And a lot of people are not built to be that. Some people are just built to be workers, isn't it? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not everyone wants to have loads. Not everyone. It's all individual. Like, it's not for everyone. Do you know what I mean? It's trust me. Like, it's stressful. A lot of things are stressful. A lot of responsibility. There's a lot that goes into owning companies and doing things on a large scale. So it's just what people want. But ambitious people with no money, if they got the hunger, they will get there. You can't be stopped. Like, you can't be stopped. If you educate yourself enough and you've got the hunger and the desire, don't get me wrong, it might take you a bit longer, but you will get there.
Yeah, no, 100%. And there was something you said to me before, where, I don't know if you want to explain this here, but investing against saving. Do you know what I mean? Like, so a lot of people will, even when you're talking about it earlier on, a lot of people will save. But can you explain why you don't really, it's not that you don't save, but you don't really like the thought of just saving your money, just keeping it in the bank for however many years or whatever?
Yeah. It was just because when you're, it's just from coming from a football background. So my theory with that is when you're a footballer, you're getting large amounts of money at a young age, like we described earlier. So every month, you got guaranteed amounts of money coming in, which you can rely on. It's like clockwork. But what happened, what I thought, it's a race to kind of put money into things that I'm going to need at a later date. So property, or I don't know, watches or gold or whatever that I can get at a later date, it's better I get rid of that and invest or store a value somewhere else, knowing that I'm going to have to come back for this at some point. Some don't work, some don't work, but when you worked it all out in the end, you'd have a lot more than you would do if you just said I was just going to save it, because naturally you just spend it. Don't you? Like you do a little bit more and you spend a little bit more there. But what another thing is, what you don't realise is £1 million in the bank 10 years ago is that's been left there for 10 years. It's not £1 million today. It's not £1 million. If I had £1 million in 2010 and just left it in the bank and not touched it, and now we're in 2020 and I've still obviously got the £1 million because it's not been touched, I've not got the same amount of money, because what I can buy with £1 million now is not the same as what I could buy in £1 million anything. And that's across my whole walk of life. I don't know, council tax is doubled, trebled. You buy a Snickers bar in the shop, it's twice as much, but it's half the length. So in theory, like a Snickers bar or something might have gone up 4 times, just for example. Everything, the value, a nice Mercedes, but in 2010, 50 grand gets you the top car, like 50, 60, 70 grand, you're the man. 70 grand now, you're getting a nice car, but you're not nowhere near what you was getting in 2010. So that's to give you a few examples. So what I'm saying is that million that might be $500,000 now, maybe less in comparison. But if you'd have brought a property or you'd have brought something, inflation wouldn't have got you like that. You would have still secured at least that, or if not, obviously property you'd have got more. But even if you was able to maintain the same value, you'd have been well up. So I've never been one for just having money in an account. That's for one reason. And the second reason is I've never wanted to finish my career with a large amount of money in the bank, but nothing coming into it. Yeah. Because I'd be forever looking over my shoulder. I'm thinking, oh, well, I'm spending at this pace, I'm gonna be short in 1 year, or, you know what I mean? And you can never legislate for anything going wrong, and then it's not a nice feeling when you can't make money.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. I agree. Do you look back at football, and when you do look back at football, do you have feelings and thoughts of like, ugh, or do you actually look back with actual pride?
No, I look back with pride.
Okay.
I look back with pride, yeah, no doubt about that. I look back at pride, and obviously it could have went better. I had a good career. So I played, I don't know, 250, 300 games in the Championship, in the Prem. Played all the England age groups. Apart from senior, played for Antigua, my family's country, for a few games.
I've been there a couple of times, actually.
Yeah, so it's something to definitely be proud of. I wish I could have played more Premier League games. If I'd have went up with Forest, that would have been my opportunity, but it never happened. But I never looked back, to be fair, and I just moved forward.
Yeah, because I've noticed that, and obviously I've been following you for a while and everything, but there's 2 types of people that I've noticed. The ones who, like, this is the 2 types of players once they finish football. You've got the ones who forever have to keep drilling in the old stuff, if you know what I mean. Like, so they always post up their old goals and always, you don't really know what's going on now, but it's like, this is what, and they hang on to that. But then there's a type of player who you see what they're doing now, you know, and you hear more about that rather than, you know, what they did before. You know, they used to be a player, but it's about the now and it's about the moving on. And you are definitely in the latter. Another person, Leon Best, like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
Leon, anyway, you don't need to connect, because, yeah, he's just another one.
For years, isn't it? I played with Bestie for years at Southampton when we came through together at Southampton.
Yeah, he's another one. His mind it reminds me of yours. It's just business. It's business. But when you talk to him about would you go back to play professional football, he'll be like, nah, never. Like, he's just, do you know what I mean? Like, he just looks forward. Like, okay, that was that. Because when you look at it as well, in the grand scheme of life, you hear it all the time. Football's actually a very short
Very short. Very short. Very short. Very short. Yeah, I'm definitely in the latter. Definitely in the latter. I don't think back or nothing. I remember even when I was playing, I was like that. I was doing business with one company for about 2 years, and I remember one time he said to me, he rang me and go, "Dex, I've just seen you on Sky Sports score the goal." He said, "I just see you score a goal on Sky Sports. Is that you?" I said, "Yeah, that's me." He said, "I never knew you played football. I've been doing business with this guy for like 2 years." Some completely different thing. He said, "I never knew you played football. You played for Nottingham Forest." Because I'm like trying to screw him down on some numbers and that. He said, "You're doing this. And you're telling me this and you're playing." It's funny. It's funny. I said, "No, I didn't need to tell you, did I? There's no reason for it." He said, "Freaking hell, you're on my TV." It's funny. But yeah, I've never been one of those. And even now, I never really look back in my house. I've got no pictures of football stuff or no. I don't think I even got one of my shirts framed. I don't think.
But you still like football, though.
I like football. Yeah. I like football. Listen, I like football. Definitely. There's no doubt about that.
Who do you support?
You know, I've never been one who really supported. You know, I was a Man United man from young, but that was just because that's my era. I'm from Oxford originally, so I watch out for their results. But I've never been a man arguing teams down. I just can't do that as a grown man. I don't care that much. I mean, I don't really deep it that much.
Did you catch much of the football over the weekend?
Yeah, I see the Liverpool got licks, didn't they? And I see that. I see Tottenham, United. No, I did see a good bit. To be fair, it's interesting, huh?
I'm telling you, man. And I've been saying that this is probably going to be one of the most exciting seasons we got. Not just Premier League as well, that Championship as well, man. That the quality it's improved so much. The quality of have you noticed that though? That the quality of the Championship compared to that when you first went in there.
100%. It's mad. It's like it's got the size of the clubs in the Championship are just massive. You don't realise how big they are. When you had the crowds, obviously before this COVID, they were like every stadium 20,000 plus, 20,000. Like you had Premier League clubs. I think it was like 18, 16 or 18 former Premier League clubs in the Championship. Like it's just so difficult, so competitive. It's just a relentless league. It's just hard work, man. Hard work. Championship.
Do you think you would have enjoyed it more now playing in the Championship?
I don't know. I'd have played in there long enough, man. I was in there for about 12 years straight. This is a horrible. Not horrible, but I mean, it's a demanding league. There's no forgiveness in that league. It's just ruthless. It's ruthless, man.
I think that's what people don't understand as well. It's the what's the word? The demands and the realities of being a pro footballer at that level for over a decade.
Ooh, it's mad. And the crowd, especially when you play for big clubs. You play for Forest and Southampton. I went on loan to Leeds. Derby, I went on loan to. These clubs are big clubs, big fan base. You can't mess around with these. Like, you're not playing good. It's not nice. You know what I mean? The team's not playing well. It's not nice.
Yeah. Where did you have your best times as a footballer?
QPR and Forest, definitely. QPR was great because that was my first team football playing Championship at like 19, 20, 21. So that was great for me. So I enjoyed that a lot. And then coming to QPR, great times here as well. So they're the two. And my Southampton youth team was a very good youth team. So I did very, very enjoyable youth team as well. Yeah. But first team level was definitely QPR and Forest on my two.
Did you have how old are you now?
34 now.
Oh, so Theo wouldn't have been in your...
Theo was playing. He used to play up, so he used to play like in our under-19s. He would play a little bit of reserves. He was. I played with Theo quite a lot.
Yeah. How was he when you lot were younger?
Yeah, he was the man, and he was the man.
Yeah.
His pace was different. He was always the one that was everyone knew that he was going to be the real deal. But you had like Bale. No one really. He was respected. He was known as a very good. He was left back at the time, innit? So he was known as a good player. Like the players rated him, but he wasn't. You couldn't hang your hat on him to be. Forget about being who he's been. Just being a Premier League player, like, or anything, just making it. Like he was probably 5th, 6th in
what hard work does, man.
He just it's just one of those. He's one of them players where the players respect and say, "Nah, he's good."
Yeah,
he's very good. He's very good, but he's not hyped up. There's no hype. There's no nothing. He's just thing, and then he just went bosh.
Yeah.
Then Lallana was rated.
You see Lallana, yeah. For me, of the last 10 years, I'm not even trying to be funny here. Lallana's probably one of England's most underrated players.
Yeah, he's a joke.
No, he's stupid. He's stupid.
He's stupid. He's a cool guy as well. When I went to obviously played a lot of games with Lallana. He was 1 year younger than me. He was in the same year as McGoldrick. He was the same as McGoldrick and Nathan Dyer. So it's like a combination of years, but we always used to obviously play together.
Yeah.
And my year was like me, Leon Best, Andrew Sermon, Simon Gillett, Matt Mills, Martin Craney. So you just have players on top of players. But anyway, I remember going to QPR. I left Southampton to go QPR to play first team or whatever. And QPR were playing Southampton in the Resis. So I was playing first team, so I wasn't playing the Resis. So we had a day off and they had the Resi game. So that was on a Wednesday. Coming on the Thursday, and I spoke to the left back and said, "Oh, I was the game, whatever." I don't know what the score was of the game yet. I said, "I was the game." He said, "Yeah, they were." He said they were good. They were good. I said, "Oh, what? It was decent." He said, "Oh, Lallana was decent." Blah, blah. I said, "Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? Good player." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, he's a good player, but he's all left foot." So I said, "He's right-footed." He goes, "No, he's definitely left-footed. Like he's all left foot." I said, "No, trust me, he's both-footed, but he's more than right." You know what I mean? Like he goes, "Yeah, no." So he goes, "No." He's like thinking back to the game, and he goes, "No, he was taking corners and that, and it like he was taking in swinging free kicks with blah blah." So anyway, I hit man up and said, "Yo, what's this about this left foot thing?" And they said, there's like the lads are a little better. He can use his left foot. I said, "No, man, taking the piss, or he takes free kicks with his left or something." I was like, nah. Reserve game, just mugging it off. Like,
I absolutely love that, man. And him, obviously, he's at Brighton now, and I just love watching players like that. Do you get what I'm saying?
That Cruyff, yeah. See, when he does the Cruyff, you can't stop it. Anyone could know what he's doing. You cannot stop that.
Because me as a left footer, I'm only ever going to Cruyff one way, really and truly.
Yeah.
He does it anyway, like
boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so silky with it. Like, yeah, he's a proper player. He's proper player.
No, I love that. But for you, what's actually before I ask that question, during COVID, your business is it Mediconnect? Did that thrive more than anything because it's in the health sector?
Yeah. So during COVID, what we did is was slightly different to what the original business model was, but we supplied a lot of PP face masks into the NHS and local authorities, councils and stuff. So the hand sanitizer, gloves, masks, we supplied a lot of them into the NHS directly.
Yeah.
So It was a hectic time.
Yeah, I saw you and Bradley doing that, and
Yeah, what we did with Bradley, we because we were supplying, because no one could get hold of these products, and we had relationships with factories where we could get them. We were supplying, like I said, into the NHS and the local councils and authorities. But at the same time, I thought it's an opportunity that we can give away. So me and Bradley put money in and got donations, and we just give them away, because there was like care homes that just couldn't, they didn't have the money or couldn't do anything, can it? So we literally got thousands of masks. I don't know how much, it must have been like 50,000 masks separately from anything else, just because I could get them to buy them directly at source and then just give for a good price and just give them out.
yeah,
So Bradley was all up for doing it, wanted to give back, and then that's where that came from.
yeah. It's so funny because obviously that's my guy, and I was filming with him one day, and I was with him, and I was in his car, and I'm like looking around, like, you got like 4 hand sanitizers in it. Like, what's going on? He's like, yeah, these are just from when I was doing the whole giving out stuff. So nah, top man. But yeah, what's next for you though? Like in the future, like, is there anything in the pipelines that you want to talk about, or? I know you don't talk too much, but you know.
No, not really. Just continue to grow. In terms of the pharmacy side, we just continue to grow and hopefully expand that. Hopefully build solutions for countries if possible. Just as much as we can. We're in talks with the HMRC at the moment to try and get a solution for them. We're just trying to see where we can take that project. Continue the property stuff, the builds, with the football stuff. There's very select people that I work with, but help other players to move or to make sure their finances are right. That's it, really. Just continue. One of my goals that would be to generate one big movement with players, almost like a bit of a hedge fund to secure players in their future. That a hedge fund that kind of almost brought property, brought this, brought that, that kind of got money off players when they're vulnerable of blowing it, and then making sure that they're secure on the back end. That's something I'm quite passionate about.
What are the obstacles with getting something like that
done? There's not real obstacles. It's just the personnel, really. Like it's somebody who wants to do it. Do you know what I mean? Because it wouldn't solely be for me, because a lot of the stuff that I would say to players to put into would be stuff that I'm putting into myself. It's not like I'm an advisor that says, "Oh yeah, buy this in China," and I'm just at home. It's no, this is what I'm doing. But I'm now if you come in, we can buy a bigger building, or we can do this bigger. We can come together, blah blah.
Yeah.
And again, it's not like a case of, just give me the money and let me do what I want to do. It's ownership, so it's all there. Like you're investing into what you can see here. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not. It'd be very transparent and very clear, but the main part would be to educate the players that are involved a little bit where I can.
Yeah.
But the main part is to get the money off them when they don't need it, to make sure it's secure for when they do.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of players are struggling. I know players that have been on 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 grand a week and they've got no money. So.
And on that, before we wrap up, people always say, how can that happen? How can that happen? And I've never been on that sort of money, obviously, but speaking to people who have gone through it and whatnot, like, it's easier than you think.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
It's very easy to get rid of that money.
You can get rid of that money, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Boy, in this life, boy. But yeah, no, thank you for this, man. We got it over the line. I'm happy. There was a point where I thought over the weekend it wasn't going to happen, when you message me, it's like, what? Do you want to do it now? I was like, oh, okay, wait. And I was scrambling. And I was like, you know what? No, let me do this properly. Let me do this properly. But we done it. Guys watching, if you've got any questions, hit us up. All of our details, Twitter, everything is going to be in the bio for this, as always. Yeah, keep liking, subscribing, sharing, and that's it. We're out. I'm going to stop recording right